Okay, let's move on to imperfect forms. Again, when you have a suffix that attaches to an imperfect form, it will have, in some cases, slightly nuanced forms. Oftentimes, the nuance will come in the linking vowel that gets inserted between the last consonant if the word ends in a consonant. This is actually true for both imperfect and perfect. But if the verb ends in a consonant, you'll have some kind of linking vowel that's thrown in there just to make the word pronounceable. It doesn't mean anything or communicate anything. It just makes the word speakable. So here we have tishmereni. Tishmereni. You notice here our tav prefix, which could either be second masculine singular or third feminine singular. Our root, shin, mem, resh, to guard, protect, watch over, keep. And ni. Ni, this is our first common singular suffix. Ani, from ani. And this is one of the forms that's different when it's attached to a verb than when it's attached to, say, a noun or a preposition. Tishmereni. Okay? So let's go here with third feminine singular. She will guard me, let's say. Maybe we could, I don't know what context this comes from actually. I just pulled it out of my accordance. But let's say the subject of the verb is Torah. She, the Torah, will guard me, or will protect me, or will watch over me. Or perhaps it's a big sister, or a mom. Okay, moving right along. Tivakshem. Tivakshem here. Again, we have our tav prefix. Let's say this time it's the second masculine singular. Our root, beit, kof, shin, to seek out or search. And our mem suffix, same as here, third masculine plural. So you looked for them, or this is imperfect, I'm sorry. She will guard me, she will protect me, you will search for them, or you will seek them. And finally, as the textbook indicates, on a couple of occasions, you'll have, for instance, the third masculine singular suffix appear in a very unusual form. In fact, it looks just like the first common plural form from anachnu. Right? It has this nu ending, but the noon is a dagesh forte. And this is unusual, and actually different scholars have different theories on this. The textbook doesn't mention this, but most grammarians suggest that this is called an energic noon. Energic as in energy. Now, it doesn't necessarily bring any energy into it, and it's really an archaic form that's retained somehow in the particular passage. But this noon causes some trouble here or there, even for people who know Hebrew like myself, when translating. Sometimes it might actually be anachnu, other times it might be him. So context will often determine. If not, then make sure you use your resources and check your work. But this example is lo ezkerenu. Lo ezkerenu. Lo, as the negative particle not, when lo is attached to a imperfect form, then it's saying something will not occur or happen, or someone will not do something. So lo ezkerenu, not I will remember Zayin, Kaf, Resh. Remember, not I will remember him. Lo ezkerenu. I will not remember him. This is a challenging word that's given from God to through the prophets. Finally, we have participles. I'm not going to give you many examples of that or talk much about it, but I wanted to give you this example because it's kind of interesting, and it's also very familiar, a very familiar phrase in English. So when a suffix is attached to a participle, it still is the object of the participle. Okay? It's the object of the verb. But also, because the participle is part verb, part adjective, and it functions often similar to adjectives and nouns, functions similar to nouns in that it can be in a construct chain. It's confusing, I know. It's an adjective, verb, but it functions like a noun. We often translate it like a noun. It is what it is. But when you have a participle attached to a suffix, it's a construct. The two are in construct. Okay, just a couple other tidbits. Participles with suffixes will never have a definite article. You'll recall participles are the only verb that can take a definite article. But when they have a suffix attached, you'll never have the definite article because the suffix with the participle with a suffix is definite inherently. It's inherently definite. Or the textbook says it's inherent by implication. So here is an example from the 23rd Psalm. It's the first two words in this famous psalm. Adonai ro'i. Adonai ro'i. Adonai ro'i. Oops, I erased our hearing here. Adonai ro'i. This is, believe it or not, a participle. It has its last root letter is a hey, which often disappears when things are attached to it, like a suffix. So the root is resh, ein, hey. It means to graze or to shepherd. You see the holum here, which is the sign of the pa'al or the kal participle. Ro'i. The Lord, roe, would be the participle. Shepherds, or the one who shepherds. Me. The Lord is the one who shepherds me. Or is the shepherd of me. That's where you get your construct in, the shepherd of me. And then here we would translate it. We often translate participles as nouns. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. Finally, just a quick word on infinitives. As I said at the beginning, infinitive absolutes cannot take a suffix, so you'll never find an infinitive absolute with a suffix. Infinitive constructs do take suffixes, and context will determine whether it's the suffix is functioning as the object of the verb or the subject of the verb. The textbook for the subject gives the example of the Shema. Beshivtecha bevetecha. Right? So in your sitting, you, the cha on the end of beshivtecha, uvlechtecha, shochbecha, uvkumecha, all of those suffixes are functioning where the suffix is the subject of the verb, the one doing the action. When you sit, when you walk, when you lie down, when you get up. So again, context will determine, and hopefully this has been helpful to clarify some of the differences between suffixes when they attach to nouns, and suffixes attached to prepositions, and suffixes attaching to verbs.